and your regular chats. And
Yep.
as we are talking about that, we're loading into the game, and we're actually done.
Yep.
So why don't you introduce the players?
Will do. In the bottom right corner, it is my pleasure to introduce once again from team Altijd Raak met Sjaak, it is Iznobest.
And his opponents in the top left, doing strange things with his probes. We've seen him before. I don't think he's on a team right now. So if you're a team and you're looking for some players that like to do weird things with probes in tournaments, go on and recruit Arnovic.
Woohoo! Yeah, guys, this is actually good that you bring that up there, Nasha, there. Because, of course, yeah, we have a couple of teams in the Netherlands that actually played Starcraft, have Starcraft on their roster, and are very active about it. And we do hope that many of those will send us little promotional videos that we will show during the DSCL Bootcamp broadcast. Because I imagine many people who have played in DSCL Bootcamp, or who will be watching it, might be interested in joining a StarCraft team. So we do hope to introduce the viewers to as many teams as possible. So if you have a StarCraft team and you'd like to introduce yourself to the viewers, saying, "This is our team, we're so cool, please join us," then send me a little bit of a video. If you have any questions about that, send an email to contact@DutchStarcraftLeague.nl. And I do hope to get lots of videos to be showing and help out the Dutch StarCraft scene, because that's what the Dutch StarCraft League is all about. Mutual scouting going on once again. Of course, this is a two-player map. You know where your opponent's going to be. And there we go. Iznobest scouts everything. Oh, yeah, there we go. I was just going to say, is this going to be one of those Iznobest moves? Yes, it is. And building a supply depot there. And yeah, I think this really damages the... yeah, there we go. Look at the pathing for the probes. This sucks.
Arnovic's decision to build the pylon at that position actually comes back to bite him now, because if he hadn't built that pylon, then the pathing wouldn't have been as affected as it is now.
If he hadn't built the pylon, then Iznobest would have built an engineering bay there.
That is true, but then engineering bays get more expensive. It's a bigger investment. So
Yep.
I don't know if this pylon for Arnovic, if it's really a good idea to keep it there instead of just moving it one tile further down or 2 tiles further down or so. It still serves to block anything that wants to run into the mineral line if you put it a bit further down, but you have less risk of probes having to do this slalom around the buildings.
Oh, I think there's something going on the other side of the map. There's a pylon there, and this is in such a timing that I think that something might be added on there. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, the Cybernetic core has been completed, but Arnovic is getting his mothership core out first. Also researching warp gate, so he's spending his first resources on those things. He now has enough for attack building, so we're going to see what's going to happen. He has his probe selected, and boom, Stargate. Not entirely unexpected. Or this marine, it sees the probe moving down.
Alright, that might be a telltale sign. Maybe that marine smells something's up. Yep, there we go.
Yep. Oh, this whole strategy is down the drain. He's actually attacking. So that's an interesting thing. He did see the Stargate. So what do you do as a marine? You immediately attack the pylon or the Stargate, but when you do so, you reveal the fact that you're onto your opponents. Or you could just quickly sneak in, spot it, and then pull out your marine and wait for the Stargate to complete, and then maybe take a second or a third marine and kill the pylon before anything can come out. Because then, well, now it's a bit of a moot point since the Stargate completed anyway. But if this gave Arnovic the chance to cancel his Stargates, while if he would have waited before attacking, then...
Yep, good point. And I think the marine will not be able to kill the... Unless he starts microing now, but no.
Ooh, okay, so the Oracle is going to come out, but of course Iznobest is fully aware of what's going on. Let's see what he has to defend. He has 6 marines.
Missile
Where are
turret,
they? They're all together near the ramp of the main. There's a missile turret coming up in the main already. There's the natural's a bit undefended, but the marines could move in and defend it quite easily.
Alright, okay, so Iznobest now thinking, why isn't the... Okay, now it comes in, never mind. I just had these insane mind games planned out, but no, there we go. Just one Oracle flies in, sees, well, there's nothing I can do. Probably has to go back. This makes sure, however, even though it's been spotted, that Iznobest can't just happily leave his base. Or not without static defense there anyway. He's got one SCV actually doing nothing in his natural
He had
area.
3 SCVs doing nothing for a while, but able 2 to actually go to work.
Okay, I do believe that this little Oracle here will not find any damage to do.
Unless you, of course, have some crazy Oracle control like we saw Classic do in the WCS matches last night. He really had some amazing control. Oracle just seem to move faster than they does for normal people and be more nimble.
He does get a good scout off though, and one SCV kill, might get a second one. Nope, backs out. It is a bit annoying.
He's keeping the Oracle alive, which is quite important because as long as it's alive, the threat remains. And there's plenty of areas that are not completely covered by the missile turret. So as long as it stays alive, you can poke in every few minutes or so just to see if you can get 1 or 2 SCV kills and be generally annoying. While if you just get it killed by the group of Marines in the first attempt, then the whole investment was for nothing. And now it's just a nuisance that remains for longer into the game.
Many Marines are out for Iznobest, and they're currently destroying the destructible rocks. Destructible ducks doing what they do best. Oh, some Marines dying to the Oracle, and another. There we go. Like you said, the threat remains, and a couple of kills can be had. So 4 kills for the Oracle so far.
And delaying the starport by quite a bit, and there's another Marine going down. It's nice. It's not the damage that you want to do with an Oracle. You really want to get like 5-6 SCV kills on the first attempt. But he is getting, considering the circumstances of his Stargate being scouted, he's getting the most out of it.
Yeah, definitely. 4 kills, and like you said, the delay of the starport is significant. Only now it's working out, and usually you see the timing of a push revolving around the moment medevacs first pop out, and medevacs, of course, come out of the starport. Sorry. So this delay is significant. Yep, switcheroo with the starport. God damn it, I keep saying starport. It's terrible. Okay.
Colossi going out for Arnovic. His range upgrade hasn't started yet. He doesn't have resources for it, so I don't know why that is. We see that the revelation was put on part of the army for Iznobest, so for the time being, Arnovic will be able to see what that group of units will do.
Yep, of course, an Oracle ability there basically gives you vision of the units that you, what was it called again? Reveal. Right, okay.
Revelation. So currently we see that the robotics bay has been chrono boosted by Arnovic, but he hadn't started actually thermal lancer yet, and only now, like 15 seconds later, he decided, well, just chrono boosting it isn't doing anything. I actually have to start the upgrade. So he is getting his range upgrade right now. He almost completing his second Colossus. He doesn't have that much gateway support units yet, but he's getting the additional gateways, and there's no push coming in just yet for Iznobest. He does have Stim. Combat Shield just started, as have concussive shells. I think he'll wait for that before he pushes it out.
Yep, I think it's safe to say that Iznobest favors a very bio-focused style of play.
Yes. Because he likes his two-pronged attacks, and for that you just need fast and nimble units, and bio and medevacs. They're just so mobile, you can go all over the map in different locations if you want. Hallucinated Phoenix for Arnovic is scouting everything that's going on. Doesn't scout actually the size of the army, but he should have a decent idea of how big it is. Third base is coming up for Iznobest, but the Oracle killed the SCV building it, so that's again been delayed.
Yep, very annoying Oracle. Like we said, keeping it alive does so much. So very annoying.
Flying across the map within sight of the observer, so
2 medevacs actually.
Arnovic is aware, he's moving his stalkers in position. In the meantime, there's a war prism going down to the Terran base, and we see that the first drop is getting deflected, but at the same time another drop is unloading. Stalkers are moving to intercept, but now the first drop is coming back into the mineral line. The rest of the army for Arnovic is coming down, and I don't think he'll lose too much. He loses a pylon in the northwest base, but that is about it. And the medevac is going to get out.
Right. No, I think it's been very easy for Arnovic units to move up from the natural to the main and back again. I think that's part of the reason why this double pronged attack did not do a lot of damage, or basically no damage.
Yep.
But you know, still, Iznobest keeping his opponent on his toes, and there's another drop here in the third.
But
there's nothing there to kill.
And a single Marine is being dropped in the natural. He may actually get a cancel in his Nexus or a kill. No, he doesn't. There's still a single Marine in the The natural did get a probe or two, and now it's being lifted out.
Oh, look at this! Oh, he drops it back in again. Oh, it's so annoying.
Forcing some Zealot warp. Is he getting... He got another probe there, and now the Marine does go down.
Okay.
In the meantime, there's a medevac for Iznobest stuck between the third and the main. He's actually going to get out. He's unloading again at the third. He's going to get a couple of probe kills, but he's going. The drop will get cleaned up, and the medevac may just get out. It's not the most efficient route, but he is going to get out. In the meantime, in the bottom, Iznobest is trying to corner Arnovic's Oracle, which is still sitting there. But he just doesn't have enough to reach it until these Vikings come in.
Blap. And it died. Alright. Hey, Hilke is in the chat. Hi, Hilke. Chat. I love how the chat is 2-minute delays. Or actually, I don't love how the chat has a 2-minute delay. Oh, that'd be fun. Instead of delaying the stream for 2 minutes, just delaying the chat for 2 minutes.
Arnovic has a War Prism with 2 Zealots loaded in somewhere on the right side of the map, in the middle or so. I think he's getting ready to move that into the base of Iznobest, but War Prism has been sitting there for a while. He's not really giving that much attention.
Yeah, I had seen it on the minimap a couple of times, and somehow I thought it was that pylon from before when there was a Stargate there. But you're right, it is a War Prism, but it's been so static that I thought it was a pylon.
He could, he should, I guess, move it closer to the base so that when he wants to move it in, for example, when Izno is moving out.
Oh, Izno actually could have seen the warp in animation if he was paying attention to his medevac, but I can imagine he didn't. Okay, full of units now.
2 drops coming. Oh, these 2 medevacs, they're rather low on health that are coming in on the left side. They should have taken some time to repair them, because with the photon cannon there, it might actually take out one of the medevacs before it can unload.
No!
Oh, it's unloading right at the stalkers! No!
So that's one, but the second one might do some damage, but he's wise to unload the units before he actually moves in.
The main army is right next to the Nexus, so 3 Marauders and 2...
Oh! And second medevac also went down to the photon overcharge, so... his harass, Iznobest harass this game is doing not that good, and Arnovic's defense is very good.
Coming in the main for Iznobest. 4 Zealots are loading, nothing additional being warped in right now. Zealots are taking out 1 SCV and get a supply depot to burn, but that is it. Supply depot is getting repaired, so this harass also didn't do much.
Man, okay, so in terms of harass, not the biggest of successes in this game.
If we look at the supplies, though, we see that Arnovic has a solid 37 supply lead. Part of that is, is workers. He has 21 additional workers over his opponents. If we look at the upgrades, we see that's 3 armor for the Protoss, no attack upgrades, and it's 1-1 for the Terran player, with 2-1 coming up, as well as vehicle and ship weapons to pump up those Vikings a bit.
Yeah, Vikings will be fighting, of course, Colossi, and there's a significant push out currently, being scouted by this one little Marino there, but there's Stormers, I was going to say. There's High Templar here with Storm, there's Colossi, Archons, of course some sentries there for the Guardian Shield. Significant push, I would say.
And the War Prism is also making its way down again. But there's a missile turret and a handful of units currently guarding that area. But I'm wondering if he may not prefer these units that are currently in the main to be with the main army if it really comes down. But the War Prism gets shot down, and are these units enough to take care of these 4 Zealots? If he micros them a bit more, they might be, but these Zealots are just taking out these Marines and the Marauder, taking out turrets, and there's 2 Zealots left, and Iznobest will have to send something down to deal with that. And that something is a single Marine, and that's not going to cut it.
Alright. You can tell that Izno is kind of being distracted. Maybe he's wondering, where's my opponent's army? Maybe he's expecting this just to be a diversion, which it is. Not wanting to devote too many resources and time to this. Here we go, a push into the third of Iznobest, and I feel like this third is gonna fall. There's... Well, okay.
But it just forces the lift off and he backs off. He doesn't want to engage.
Terrible
storms on the main army.
Oh my god!
And
whoa!
Iznobest just GG's out of the storms.
Wow, okay. That was pretty damage dealing storms there. Arnovic wins the first game, up 1-0 in this best of 3. And yeah, wow. Those storms did so much damage. There needed to be more storm dodging there. Alright. What happened to Wyman? See people talking about Wyman? I'm gonna go check out Let's see.
So Wish is saying the Wyman curse is real, so maybe he got knocked out again?
He lost 2-0 to Android. So Android is our Terran player in the other semi-final.
Okay, so it's going to be Syntax Meow versus Android in the other semi-final, and we're currently watching Iznobest versus Arnovic. Going into game 2 right now. It's going to be on Overgrowth.
Nice. All right. Yeah, games are progressing smoothly today. Right. Curious to see who gets out of the other semi-final. Maybe we get to see some of the games from the other semi-final.
Yeah, that depends on how long this semi will take and how fast they will wrap it up.
Mm-hmm. Alright, just letting the players know that the casters, are ready whenever they are. And by the way, I hope you have enjoyed our cool new DSCL leader. I'm using it whenever I get the chance to, but it hasn't been too much. Maybe later today, before we get into the finals, I'm going to use the leader once again. Alright, cool. Arnovic asking for just just 1 minute. I'm going to roll one CM Storm commercial in the meanwhile. Guys, don't go anywhere. One CM Storm commercial coming up.
We'll be right back.
Alright guys, got my microphone switched on. Yes, I'm so on top of it today. We are loading into the next game. Arnovic currently up 1-0. And let me set all this stuff right. Let me set the score there. So Arnovic won game. Alrighty, jumping into the game right now. In the top right corner of the map, the Protoss player up 1 game, Arnovic.
And in the bottom left corner, the green Terran player currently down 1-0. Iznobest.
Is he gonna make it out? Is he? Sorry.
We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see. Alright. No shenanigans in the first game, just straight up, or, well, except for Iznobest's supply depot in between the gases, which he always does, but apart from that, no really fancy strategies, just straight up multi-pronged attacks, bio forces, and then one big push from Arnovic, a couple of storms, and that was GG.
In general, we see very few cheeses.
That is
I don't
true,
think
yeah.
I've seen any in the games that I've cast today. And
I think
this
proxy oracle came close to being one of the cheesiest things that we've seen.
Proxy oracle, it's so common that you can't really call it a cheese that much anymore. It's a bit of a standard opening because you don't really need the Stargates later on, so it doesn't really matter if you place it far out. So currently in the chat, someone is wondering if you're actually still in your underwear.
I see that. Hi there, Al Condor. Welcome. Actually, no, I'm not in my underwear. Well, part of it maybe. This weekend is all about me painting my house together with my girlfriend. So we're redoing the house. Oh, there we go. There's the engineering bay. But because of that, my hair is full of paint. My nose is full of dust because I've been
sniffing dust.
Sniffing dust. I don't know. So yes, it's hard life for me, and now I have to cast Starcraft 2. Oh man, this is
it's not easy being you.
It's not easy being me. No, because yeah, this is basically my painting outfit, and not my underwear. All right.
So I see the engineering bay is quite annoying. There's no attacking units coming up just yet for Arnovic. Only now the Zealot is being started. So it's going to take a while before he gets maximum use out of this refinery.
Yep, and he took both gases right away, so he was definitely planning on doing something that revolved around gas. So he'll be... I reckon that he probably didn't even plan to make this one Zealot.
No, generally you want to skip it if you can, because it means that you can get your expansion up more quickly. It's still 100 minerals, but if you skip the Zealot, it takes so long before you have some DPS out, especially since the Mothership Core doesn't really do that much damage compared to the Zealots. We see that Iznobest is building his natural expansion as he cancels the engineering bay just in time.
Yep, spreading out some mariners. I can imagine this is to scout for proxy pylons and in the end to take the watchtowers. Of course, if you have both watchtowers on overgrowth, you can see the entire approaching path of any ground armies that are coming up. So it is very good to have. And yes, we see scouting for proxies going on, but there's nothing to be found, of course.
And he keeps these marines, at least one of them already on the edge of the base on the map. He will maybe send it in later to do his trademark sneaky marine scouting style.
Yep, the sneaky marine that once killed me by himself.
And we see Arnovic getting a robotics facility, which was scouted by an SCV that did not make it out to tell his brethren back home. But fortunately, he has 4G on his SCV suit, so he could send a WhatsApp message about the robotics back to the base.
Also a forge, and there's one marine coming in, having finished his scout of the map. Now also confirmed a scout of the natural of his opponent, Arnovic. And both players going for an expansion. Similar worker counts, very similar worker counts.
Oh, already a robotics bay for Arnovic. That's very quick.
All right, Colossus drop. This has got to be it.
He's just on a single gateway. He's also getting a forge, so it's very tech-heavy opening for Arnovic. If you can get away with it, he'll have a very good entry into the mid game. Early tech, early upgrades, but if a push comes out of Iznobest soon, that could be tricky.
Yep, this is a classic Protoss where you're waiting for that one crucial unit that you need to hold off any push, and you hope to God you got your fingers crossed that your opponent's not pushing out. But I think this... oh, actually, he's working on an observer first. I was thinking, how is this Colossus building so fast? But it's... okay, actually a second observer coming out after that. So he's saving some of his... he's using some of his robotics facility time, which is quite precious time, to build observers. And observers, of course, very important if you... That's actually his third observer. And
yeah,
I really like having many observers.
Excuse me. In the beginning of the game, as Protoss, I prefer getting two typically. Just one to scout around the map a bit, and one to stick with your army in case there are banshees or widow mines coming in. Because having your observer on the other side of the map when there's a widow mine burrowing in your face is always a bit awkward. Yep. So I tend to get two observers before I start cranking out the big units from the robotics facility, and then add more observers later on as is needed.
Alright, warp gates finishing up. The first Colossus now halfway done, and the first push always also moving across the map. And I wonder if building this third observer is gonna bite Arnovic in the ass, because this push might arrive before the Colossus is properly on the field. But no, I think zigzagging by the watchtowers makes sure that the first Colossus will be there to defend when Iznobest arrives.
Iznobest is probably wanting to wait for Stim, which is still 15 seconds out. The Colossus is also 10 seconds out right now, so they will arrive both at roughly the same time. Iznobest is going in just a few seconds before Stim is going in very far with his units.
Yeah.
Home charge being triggered. The Colossus now joining in the fun, and I think Arnovic is going to clean this up.
Yeah, he is. No Stim was used by Iznobest.
Yeah, but quite a few units were lost, and this was a very clean defense.
Yeah, 2 sentries died though. I mean, that's a bit painful, but okay, the push is gone. 8 Marines have died, so...
Yeah, but considering how tech-heavy the opening was for Arnovic, he got away with it completely. He got his Colossi tech out. He's now having a Twilight Council. He has his +1 attack, +1 armor completed, working on +2. So
Nice.
I think he's in a comfortable position now, getting the additional gateways for extra production.
Yep. Let's see. I haven't seen any major supply blocks so far either, so that's pretty good. Another push for Iznobest, by the way. He's reinforcing his little mariners there with some marauders. Medevac's now also out in the field, so this is yeah, we're gonna see push after push and multi-pronged attacks from Iznobest as we have seen so far.
There's currently 2 Colossi out, but only 5 Zealots and a Sentry as gateway support. So it's still a bit of a fragile army, but here in this little area near the natural, the Colossi can walk up the ramp into the main and shoot from the high ground if they want. And the Mothership Core has enough energy for photon overcharge. I think he should be able to defend this, unless of course Izno pulls him apart. With
yeah, the thing is, he has high ground vision with his Medevacs, and the range for the Colossi is still quite a long way out. So if the push comes soon enough, then it's going to be tough for the Colossi to stay out of range and out of vision of these little bio units here.
And here we go. Observer sees everything. Photon overcharge is pulled. Guardian shield goes up, and 1 Marine bites. Does he's still going to try again? No.
That was actually kind of a big stim for Iznobest. He didn't do anything with it, so this is going to drain his Medevac energy.
Yeah, but yeah. So if he wants to push now, it'll cost him a bit to stim, but he seems to be falling back, and this attack only cost him a Marine, and he traded it for some Sentry and some Mothership Core energy.
Yep.
So nothing really lost on either side.
Oh, but there's a counter push now, which is being scouted by the 1 Marine. Iznobest may be fooled in thinking that it's just 3 Colossi leading the charge, but there's more Stalkers, actually a bunch of Stalkers reinforcing from behind.
There's 4 Vikings at the same time produced.
This is 4 bunkers now at the front and an orbital commander to... Oh, that was the end of that observer. I don't think this is a position that Arnovic should push into right now.
No, we saw a game actually in WCS where it was on a different map, but a similar position with the command center just really choking the path for the Protoss to attack. I don't know who it was. I think it was Bolts against Classic. I don't know. It was a PVT anyway, but the Terran defended with a similar setup that Iznobest has now, really limiting the surface area that the Protoss could use. Of course, I think there was a very Zealot Archon heavy army, and this is more Colossus oriented, but still, Protoss likes these open fields where the Zealots can wrap around everything.
Actually, we have a bit of an issue in game where a kind of a prophetic pause asked for by Iznobest, because after he asked for a pause and got it, he kind of lagged out. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Just as the game was heating up, I hope he returns before this timer runs out, because I do believe that the rule is if there's a disconnect, it's a loss for the player who disconnects.
There's no resume for replay being used?
I don't think so. Think so. Ask admin. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Maybe Iznobest was
not dropping yet. Can he reconnect if the game is paused?
Yeah,
I don't know how this works.
Can we keep paused a bit longer while... Alright, guys, I'm gonna switch to my head.
Oh, that probably means that...
Yeah, your head's also...
my head as well.
Alright, I'm gonna alt-tab out of here and see what's going on. Oh, actually, now that I see your head, I can't be talking to the admins, because then your head will disappear again.
Oh, that's not a big problem, I think.
No, that's not. Okay, I'm gonna switch your head off for just a little bit, and then alt-tab in Skype and see what's going on there.
Yep.
Alright.
I'll keep an eye out for Starcraft to see if anything exciting happens.
Alright, actually I have a scoop here. Fatal SE2 error.
Okay.
Okay.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, so you can tell, if you want, you can tell Arnovic that there was a fatal error and Starcraft crashed. and Iznobest is asking whether they can resume from replay. But you can tell him to go talk to the admins. Go to the admins in the chat channel, connect with them, and let them figure this out. Fortunately, I'm not gonna say anything about what we can and cannot do while we're live, because I'm not really sure about all that. All right, okay.
Okay, so the game just dropped in game. So we have to see what the admins. Where are the admins? Is just Wish being admin today?
I think both Wish and Recover Game is currently being asked for. But okay, we'll have to talk to the admins. Let's see. No admins in here so far. Guys, I'm going to just run one commercial because I'm going to be typing a lot, and you guys are going to be hearing my typing a lot. So I'm just going to mute my mic, run one commercial. We'll be right back. Stay tuned while we fix this issue. Alright, this is pretty cool, guys. We are currently loading up, as you can see on your screen right now, loading up back into the game. Both players agreed that resume from replay was a viable option. So that's what they're currently trying to do. None of us have done this before, so let's see if it works. Currently, game is ready to start. Let's see what happens, whether we drop into the game right away. I think maybe we'll have to start it manually once we load, or...
I don't know, I've never done resume from replay either, so I'm already excited about that.
Uh-huh. Of course, I might have to set the score again. Arnovic was up one game, right? I have to remember to set that again. Let's see what goes on.
So my loading bar is completed, but I don't know what else is going on.
I think the host of this game... Yeah, there we go, recovered. The host of this game probably got presented with another screen where I had to indicate who was who.
Ah, okay.
Right, so he was that guy, and I was the rest.
So we'll certainly find you playing Arnovic and me playing Iznobest.
Like, holy shit!
Being a champion for the player and...
Cool, someone in the chat saying, I want to be the caster instead of the caster. So you're more than welcome to try. Send me an email at contact@dutchstarcraftleague.nl. Contact@dutchstarcraftleague.nl. We're always looking for caster talent. So if you're interested in doing a bit of casting work, send me an email and maybe send me a sample of you casting some matches. All right, this recovering business is it's taking a bit of time. Maybe the replay needs to play out on all of our systems. That's probably what's going on.
Yeah,
right?
So that's what happens if you a replay contains exactly the information that you need to completely recreate the game. But it doesn't have any game state saved periodically, so you have to really start from the beginning and then play out all the actions as the players have played them. But since you don't have to show everything on the screen, you can do that, of course, at much increased speeds. But okay, now we're done loading. We're just asking if everyone is ready, and we'll be resuming in 3, 2, 1. Oh, fancy animations!
Really
and
fancy.
And there we go again. Excellent.
Nice. I love that. That was pretty cool. All right, don't forget to set the score, Frank. There we go.
So to recap, we had Iznobest doing some pushes in the beginning of the game, but they were not so successful. And now we see Arnovic gearing up to make a big push against his opponent. But a money scan really lands on where the army is. Sees the Warp Prism flying over as well.
Warp Prism flew into a murder of Vikings there. All right, this missile turret, did it? No, it didn't take out one of the observers that was with the army. But look at this huge pile of buildings and repairing SCVs. Tough to fly into this or walk into.
He does decide to lift up the orbital command, so he didn't watch WCS last night to see how useful it can be to have it in its place. One of the bunkers is going to get sniped by the Colossi that do, of course, outrange the bunker, or is it going to get repaired?
Yeah.
He could pick off these SCVs that are repairing on the front, but now the Vikings come in, and they are going to not get a Colossus kill. They have to pull back with the Stalkers going up to the front.
Oh, and there was a little bit of a flank set up by Iznobest, but it came down in the wrong time.
He did finish off that Colossus that was injured, so that's a little victory.
Nice, good moves from Iznobest. All right,
it's basically the Colossi that are the threat of this push, because with 4 bunkers being filled up and a bunch of units next to it as well, the gateway units are not a threat to this defense.
All right, Warp Prism flying into the main, probably we're warping in some units, or maybe this is just a distraction. We do see a response from Iznobest, all of his Vikings flying over there, so this is a chance for his Colossi to do some damage at the front, but still, you know, SCVs there to repair. If he just moves up and shoots some SCVs, I think he just shot some SCVs there. Did the Warp Prism did go down at the side of the base there.
He should pull back the Vikings now, maybe get a few pot shots off at the Colossus. But while this is going on, Arnovic is getting up his 3rd. He finished up his Templar archives, so he is going to prepare himself for the next stage of the game, while his opponent is basically stuck in defensive mode.
Yep, you're right. So this is very good. So, you oftentimes see people pushing a front like this, but then not remembering to work on their economy or tech back home. And then if they finally get basically the contain is broken, then they're in a very bad position. But not so Arnovic. He's been preparing, like you said, his 3rd is up and running. Got some Templar there, looking good for him.
And we see that Arnovic is backing off, and Iznobest is making use of this breeding room to expand to his 3rd location. He has quite a bit of energy to mule up this place if he wants to do so. He's stimming forth the Marine to make sure that the army is really gone. And there go the mules into the 3rd base, getting those much desired minerals.
Alright. Are there any ghosts on the field yet?
Sure none. I'm not even sure if there's a Ghost Academy. I'm just scouting about. No, there isn't yet.
Oh, okay. So this might turn into a problem if the ghosts don't appear for a longer while, because okay, so some of these Templar are being turned into Archons, but others will be having Storm in just a little while. So you want those ghosts to be able to do something about those storms, and we've seen what storms can do against Iznobest. They make him leave games after GGing,
there's
of course.
4 Templars right now with over 100 energy, so they do have already a single storm available each. There's 4 storms, and that can really make a big difference in this upcoming fight. I don't think Iznobest should be going up here. He doesn't have that big an army, and he cannot really do anything against the storms. 2 storms are being used, they're not so effective. 3rd storm mostly hits the Protoss actually, so that went okay for the Terran player, and he is deciding to back off for now. In the meantime, a Warp Prism is scooting about the left side of the map.
We saw, by the way, we see Iznobest retreating and working on ghosts right now, so I think he, just like one time before, he waits until he has ghosts until he tries to attack this army, and rightly so. Some SCVs going down, a couple of Zealots, this is just minor annoyance.
And Arnovic is making use of this opportunity to move his army out onto the map again. Maybe looking for a push into the 3rds before ghosts come out in full force. And again, a money scan from Iznobest right on top of the army. Sees where it is, sees the composition, although he saw most of that already with his previous push. And he will be preparing.
Alright. He now has all the time to set up the defense that he needs. He's got all of his army in between his Natural and his 3rd. He definitely spots these rocks being taken out, and he has all the time to set up like a huge concave, so that if Arnovic moves up, walks into this arch of Iznobest units. But actually, he seems to pull back. Okay, there's a warp going on. He pulls his entire army towards this warp prism. Of course, realizes his mistake. But is it too late? I think so. He might lose his 3rd because of that.
He lost 2 ghosts to the warp prism units. That's really painful. Defensive storm, making sure that the army cannot maneuver too much. And as the 3rd goes down, Arnovic pulls back. gets a clean kill, but Iznobest is moving out onto the map, and he may actually intercept the army for Arnovic coming out, or even just maybe both players will race towards the Protoss base.
Oh
this could
boy.
be interesting. Engagement going on, some defensive storms in the south, not the best position for the Terran, but he is pushing forward now. Oh, big storm again hits most of the Marines.
Storms.
A lot of Marines dying, but I think Arnovic is running out of storms. Yep, he doesn't have any storms left.
But lots of low health units there for the Terran. So, okay, the Vikings hadn't been anywhere are not around, but of course still damage going on in the main. I think that Iznobest kind of gave up on that and goes for a base trade scenario, but lots of his units are so low on health that one or two good storms are gonna wreak havoc on this army. Photon Overcharge gets started. This is really do or die for Iznobest. He's gonna do a lot of damage, but at some point the army from Arnovic is gonna arrive, and again a storm that does so much damage. And here comes the army. Iznobest's own army is split up, and I think it's gonna go down here.
Yeah, good EMPs on the army of the Protoss that was coming in from the south, but I think there's just too much Protoss. Yeah, Iznobest saying that he is lagging quite a bit and is unable to effectively play and is GGing out. And unfortunately for Iznobest, but fortunately for Arnovic, Arnovic takes the series 2-0 and will go on to the finals to get a shot at one of the 6 seats at the DSCL Bootcamp.